Good guy Jujutsu Kaisen, always making sure it hits our childlike wonder, showing where Waldo is in the middle of such a fun episode. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Where's Waldo from the books. No matter what, I'm going to view it as such, because that just makes me happy. But this episode, it ended up popping off. You know, it took a little bit of time to get situated. We are just starting this arc out. And then Itadori ends up going up against some locust grasshopper looking mofo, which was honestly a very fun fight, more than enough to make the episode feel exciting. And Gojo, I mean, he starts this episode off, he's walking on people's faces, he's basically just being the Chad that we all know and love. And by the end, it's basically the counter to Gojo. They're pretty much presenting it as such that, like, we got him, we trumped him, he can't do much without hurting all the general civilians. But I mean, the face says it all. He's smiling, he's like, if this is the best you got, I'm gonna be done before lunchtime. And honestly, that's that big deck energy we know and love from our boy Gojo. But I do have a full live reaction to today's wonderful Jujutsu Kaisen episode available on my Patreon, so if you would like to see that, head on over there, consider supporting. This was fun. This was really fun. And I mean, Gojo being one of my favorite characters in modern shonen. I mean, I'm gonna be happy when he can just walk around feeling like he owns the place. But I gotta admit, I do appreciate how, even though it feels like he's confident about the matter, we the viewers feel confident because we know who he is, and this is just the start, baby. There's gonna be lots of downward trends, upward trends, it's gonna be a roller coaster. But we knew he was not gonna have to worry too much, but it was a very clever maneuver because there's all these civilians, right? They trap so many to begin with, and they're all pressed up against the gate opens, and they're just flooding in around him. Basically, their play is like, okay, we are going to prevent him from doing anything too crazy that could end up screwing us by basically making it so he can't attack anything without hurting general people, which he wouldn't do. I don't know exactly what he's gonna do, whether he's gonna just say, you know what, is what it is, let's just do it, or he has ways to avoid hurting them. I don't know exactly, but either way, the confidence in what should be Gojo's counter, it's gotta make any one of them sweat. And honestly, Volcano Head pretty much looked like he was sweating, because he was going around burning fools left and right. There was a lot of, honestly, bloody death. There's this one point in this episode where, like, this girl is just, like, petrified. This guy comes over to help her, and then the dude who's literally trying to help her gets pierced through the chest, and she gets covered in his blood. Like, you know, this is some PTSD that isn't going away anytime soon. And for having such few scenes, all things considered, in this episode, it's hard not to come out appreciating Gojo the most because of just, well, I am a fanboy of his, but most importantly, it feels like he's always in the driver's seat. And when he pulls that down, and you can tell, and I'm like, I know they're gonna blue balls us. I know they're gonna make us wait till next episode. But goddamn, it's hard not to be both excited and infuriated that we don't get to see exactly what it is he's about to pull, but that is Gojo, right? He's a bit of a troll, and that's why we love him. But Itadori, he did good. Yuji, he popped off. I mean, the idea of just coming down, seeing this monstrosity feast on a human, and just the fact that there was that confidence, there was at no point did you feel like he was either gonna get hit or really sweat too much. This is just the start, but the design was cool. It was creepy, especially when the tail came into the equation and it looked like he was trying to impregnate our boy. But ultimately, the fact that just with 2 fists, man, he was going up against 4 fists and just matching it speed for speed, and he was throwing them through walls, and he was kicking ass, he was taking names, and honestly, it was cringy, it was hilarious, and I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. But this locust being like, I'm clever, you're dumb, pretty much just every other moment just being like, I'm clever, it's like, no bro, you're special as shit. And just the fact that, like, when he calls him like a grasshopper, he's like, wait, you might be clever. It's hilarious because Yuji at one point literally has the right response when he's like, listen, I just need to know, are you clever? And he's like, a clever person wouldn't have to say he is. And he's just like, it's like you can see every wire in this fool's brain just disintegrating and just self-destructing because it's just like, there's no way to recover from that self-own. But it was fun, man. But I honestly think, as cool as the animation was, especially with sometimes like seeing the characters almost just the speed, the line, like their character models was stretched because just so much is happening so quickly. It was very visually impressive, but I love the OST. There's a lot of techno-electronic tracks throughout the episode, but when our boy gets into demon mode, like when you were like, okay, Itadori, he's him for sure, like the music gets into the more heavy riffs, the chugging guitar strings, but the music in general, it feels like it captures the right mood of these characters. Like, for most of that fight, Itadori's just kind of chilling. He's like, he's dealing with it, he's not happy with him, but he's not really intense because for him, this is just this is a nobody, right? But once it gets into the more hostile attitude, that's when the OST matches, and it's pretty damn impressive. And I mean, like I said, I think it was in last video, like, despite not knowing what this arc was going to represent other than people saying it's incredible and one of, if not their favorites from this manga, at the same time, just seeing the careful level of passion that's been poured into just a simple flashback arc to really get us up to speed with Geto and Gojo, but most importantly, just feeling like just trapping just all those people, wondering why are they trying to trap Gojo? Because Gojo's usually the one who forces you into the cage, and their play makes sense from their point of view. It's just the fact that it doesn't seem like it's going to go over too well. But this feels like it's going to be one of those arcs where it's like Gojo looks like he trumped them, and then oh, looks like Geto, and then Gojo, then Geto, then Gojo. It's going to be a back and forth, it feels like, for a long time. And if that's the case, we are going to experience crazy fights, worrisome moments of who's going to make it out alive, but most importantly, it's probably going to reveal a whole lot about certain characters. And I think this feels like a perfect establishing arc. And I mean, I have seen a few people say that like they just wanted to jump right into this arc right away, but like the reason I'm so much more excited for Jujutsu Kaisen than I already was because of that flashback arc, was really getting us up to speed, because like I said in my character analysis that I did for Geto, you know, the idea of the structure of season 1, the movie, and then season 2 with that flashback, it's just the way it breaks down your expectations really makes this entire confrontation so much better. And like just simply having them chill on a playground as we're blowing bubbles, it's just like the idea of like snapping barriers and snapping people, and it's so good on a visual storytelling level, but it's also just kind of funny seeing them play on the playground, and it makes me happy, similar to thinking I see Waldo in the crowd of Halloween costumes, right? I really don't think it's a bad thing to be a fanboy for a show, because at the end of the day, you're just chilling and enjoying your life, and for me, Jujutsu Kaisen makes me excited. It makes me feel giddy. Sometimes I'm jumping out of my chair just because I like the insanity. But most importantly, I love what they're able to accomplish with character writing, especially for characters like Itadori and how he feels about this whole situation. And without even saying things, the facial expressions really get across how he's feeling about the bullshit that he's experiencing. But let me know your thoughts of what you thought of episode 8 of season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell. You can also head on over to the Patreon, where we do have a full live reaction to today's wonderful episode, and hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout-out. So today we have Jonathan Bromlow, Jornis Pierre, Janice Mary, Jetsamons 9173, Jared Fan, and Jessica Compton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.